Wait, did Camron just cross the line of no return because what just got leaked might have completely destroyed his decades-long bond with Jim Jones, and this time it ain't no publicity stunt, a video of Chrissy Leak, intimate, personal, and absolutely not meant for the public eye has surfaced. But here's the part that's got the streets whispering. Insiders are pointing fingers at Camron himself. Was this a petty move gone wrong, or was this a calculated betrayal meant to humiliate Jim in the dirtiest way possible? Now Jim ain't staying silent. He's exploding across every platform, unleashing decades of bottled-up resentment, and it ain't just about the video anymore. We're talking backroom deals, stolen opportunities, and a brotherhood that might have been a lie all along. You ever watch two kings turn into enemies in real time? This ain't a Dipset breakup, it's a Dipset demolition, and trust me, what you're about to hear next will change how you see Camron forever, because the truth ain't just shocking, it's ugly, and once you hear it you won't be able to unsee it. So don't blink, don't scroll, and definitely don't click away. This is the beginning of the end. You'd think that after all these years of Dipset loyalty, street brotherhood, and shared rise to hip-hop royalty, there'd be some kind of unspoken line Camron wouldn't dare cross, but apparently loyalty dies in silence, because what just happened, it's not just betrayal, it's nuclear. So let's ruin it. All started with a leak. But not just any leak, this one was personal, graphic, and emotionally violating. A private video featuring none other than Chrissy Lumpin, the longtime partner, ride or die, and deeply respected matriarch figure in Jim Jones's life, surfaced out of nowhere on a shady burner Twitter account with 0 followers, no tags, no captions, just the raw, unfiltered video dropped like a digital bomb on the timeline. At first folks thought it was a deep fake, then they thought it was old footage, but within hours, Chrissy's face was trending and the internet did what it does best. Detective mode edits started popping up, TikTok reactions went viral, and before anyone could confirm or deny the clip's authenticity, Twitter was already declaring, Cam did it. Now, why would Camron leak a video like that? What would he possibly gain from airing out something that private? Was it revenge, spite, or is there something deeper, darker, festering under the surface of their so-called brotherhood? Let's talk history for a second, because this wasn't the first time Cam and Jim had tension. See, Dipset was never the fairy tale it looked like from the outside. Behind the flashy music videos and color-coordinated bandanas, there was always friction, power plays, backdoor business moves, and quiet competition over who really ran the crew. Camron, the charismatic mastermind, Jim Jones, the heart and street muscle. But the deeper their empire grew, the more cracks started to show. There were moments, subtle jabs in interviews, cryptic Instagram stories, passive-aggressive verses, and then there were the explosive moments like that infamous 2017 Hot 97 interview where Cam aired out everything from internal beef to financial betrayals. Jim cried, Cam played it cool. Fans were confused, but the core Dipset audience, they knew this was a wound that never healed. Fast forward to 2025 and we're right back in that trauma, only now it's not music, it's family, it's Chrissy. What makes this worse is the history between Chrissy and Camron. You remember the early 2000s, right back when Chrissy was a staple on the scene, not just as Jim's partner, but as a savvy industry woman making real moves. There were always rumors that Cam didn't approve, that he thought Chrissy was controlling Jim's business decisions. Some even claimed Cam tried to convince Jim to leave her to focus on music, to be less domesticated. At the time it felt like harmless barbershop talk, but in hindsight that might have been the seed, the quiet, simmering resentment that grew over decades. And now with one single leak, Camron might have just let all that old animosity erupt in the most disturbing way possible. Sources close to the situation who spoke to us anonymously for their own protection say that the video was recorded over a decade ago, a private moment that was never meant to see the light of day, and yet somehow it did. But here's where it gets even more suspicious. According to one insider, that video was stored on a now defunct Dipset hard drive, one that only a few people ever had access to, one that Cam allegedly took when the crew split up during their mid-2010s fallout. Coincidence or calculated revenge? Even more shocking, just days before the leak, Cam and Jim were spotted together at a Rock Nation brunch, laughing like old friends, posing for pictures, and even teasing a possible Dipset reunion tour. So if this leak really did come from Cam's camp, was it premeditated? Was he playing nice while plotting to drop a bomb? Jim didn't stay quiet for long. Less than 24 hours after the video hit social media, Jim Jones posted a black screen to his Instagram story with just 3 words, I see you. Fans went wild, comments exploded, it's Cam, he did it, Dipset dead forever. Jim going solo, watch. And then the real clapback happened on IG Live in a raw, unfiltered live stream that pulled in over 120k viewers in minutes. Jim let loose, no script, no PR team, just pure rage and heartbreak. I don't care what y'all say, this man been jealous of me since day one. Jim spat into the camera, you don't touch family, you don't play with my woman. That video ain't no accident, that was sent to hurt me. The comment section was on fire, emojis flying, viewers crying, even longtime Dipset fans were picking sides. But Jim didn't stop there. Hestarted, bringing up old business. This the same man who cut me out of tour money in 2011, the same man who told labels I was unreliable, I held this crew down, me, and now you want to throw dirt on Chrissy, you a clown. Cam a whole clown. It wasn't just a personal betrayal anymore, it was a public declaration of war. At this point the internet exploded with think pieces, podcast segments, and Twitter spaces debating whether Jim was being emotional Or whether Cam really had gone too far, and the fact that Cam stayed dead silent that only made things worse. No tweet, no statement, no denial, just silence, which in the court of public opinion is practically an admission. Meanwhile, Chrissy Lampkin, known for staying 10 toes down in all storms, made a rare move of her own. She unfollowed Cam on all platforms, archived every photo that included him, and posted a cryptic message on her story: "Some wounds cut too deep, no names, no faces, but we all knew this wasn't just beef, this was betrayal at the soul level." And just when things couldn't get any more toxic, an anonymous source dropped something even darker: alleged text messages between Cam and a mysterious industry friend discussing a plan to leak something spicy to damage Jim's brand before a major business deal. If those texts are real, this goes beyond petty drama, this is career sabotage, and the worst part, Cam still hasn't denied them, which begs the question: if he really didn't do it, why isn't he defending himself? Why go silent while your name gets dragged through digital hell? Or maybe, just maybe, Cam knew this day would come and he was ready to burn it all down. And right when we thought we'd reached the peak of chaos, something even more unexpected happened. And right when we thought we'd reached the peak of chaos, things took a wild turn. Just when Jim Jones thought he had exposed every secret Camron could be hiding, new layers of betrayal started to unravel. Like a web of deceit, the text messages, oh yes, they were real, but here's where it gets extra spicy. The leak wasn't just about the video, no. According to sources close to the situation, these text messages, allegedly between Cam and an unnamed industry insider, paint a far more sinister picture. In them, Cam talks about not just destroying Jim's brand with one video leak, but planning an entire smear campaign to derail his reputation in the industry. One message allegedly read: "The right amount of dirt can break him down, let's hit him where it hurts. His woman, his money, his fans." That's right, his woman, his money, his fans, all the things Jim Jones holds dear were now tools in Cam's sick game of revenge. The message further detailed how this industry friend allegedly told Cam to keep it low-key, but to Jim's IG Live didn't just change the game, it changed the conversation entirely. It wasn't just about the video anymore, it was about the entire legacy of Dipset. The public's perception of the crew was about to take a massive hit, with fans and industry insiders alike starting to question whether all those years of loyalty were nothing more than a business transaction gone wrong. The internet was buzzing with facts, half-truths, and assumptions. Everyone was a detective now. Is Cam behind this? Was he secretly trying to push Jim out of Dipset all along? Could this be a deliberate move to regain control of the group? Let's take a step back for a second. If Cam did in fact leak that video as part of a larger scheme to destroy Jim, it would be the most calculated move in hip-hop history. Think about it, taking down a brother with the most intimate of betrayals, hurting not just his career but his personal life in the process, all while hiding behind silence. The fact that Cam didn't address it immediately, that only gave fuel to the fire. Fans started digging into his past, and some disturbing patterns began to emerge in a Twitter thread that sent legends fall out in the most catastrophic way possible. The entire industry trembles. This isn't just about Jim and Cam anymore, this is about the whole culture of loyalty, betrayal, and ambition that holds the hip-hop world together, and the unraveling of that culture in real time. As the world watched this feud escalate, something even more sinister started to bubble to the surface. The financial ramifications of this betrayal were starting to hit harder than any lyric or diss track could. Sources close to both Cam and Jim, who remember have their hands in various lucrative business ventures, began to leak a disturbing narrative. Both men were losing money, big money. You might think these are just rumors, but these aren't just any sources. These are people deep within their circles, publicists, managers, former label execs, all of whom have been feeling the ripples of this feud in the industry, and it's bad, very bad. Jim Jones, for example, had several endorsement deals that were reportedly put on hold indefinitely. His partnership with a well-known luxury brand was put on hold indefinitely. Why? The brand couldn't afford the scandal that was tainting his image. They didn't want to be associated with the constant drama surrounding his personal life. As for Camron, it turns out that his attempt to rebuild his solo career hit a wall. A massive one. Business partners were backing out left and right, unsure whether aligning with the rapper was worth the potential PR disaster. Even more bizarre, there were whispers about unpaid contracts, shaky financial dealings, and even rumors that Cam was being sued by a former label executive over alleged mismanagement of funds. It was clear the drama was no longer just about the music, this was about survival. Both Cam and Jim had to make some serious decisions fast, or they'd both risk losing it all. And then came the lawsuits, the real business side of the fallout. It was like a legal storm had just rolled in, bringing with it a flood of accusations, counterclaims, and settlements. First, it was Jim Jones's turn. Allegedly, Jim had filed an official lawsuit against Camron for defamation. The charges, a combination of slander, conspiracy, and emotional distress stemming from the leaked video and the subsequent public attacks on his personal life. According to insiders, Jim's legal team was prepared to take it all the way to court, and they weren't holding back. What was even more shocking was the rumor that Jim was asking for millions in damages, along with a demand for a public apology from Cam. The claim was so bold it caught even the most seasoned legal professionals by surprise. Camron, on the other hand, wasn't just going to let this slide. No, he hit back with a counterclaim. Alleging that Jim had been extorting him for years, he accused Jim of using their friendship to siphon off money and manipulate business deals, and now he was seeking a major payout himself. In the middle of all this chaos, legal experts predicted that this case could drag on for years, and with each passing day the public's view of both men started to sour even more. Was this the end of their careers, their legacies? Here's where the real heartbreak comes in: the fans, the ones who've supported them since the beginning, who know every lyric and wore every Dipset chain like it was their own. They're the ones who are feeling the brunt of this mess, and it's tearing them apart. At first fans didn't know who to believe. Some sided with Jim, claiming Cam had crossed a line. Others argued that Cam was justified in feeling betrayed. After years of watching Jim play second fiddle, the underdog narrative was in full force, but now it was hard to ignore the growing division between the two factions of Dipset supporters. But then came the bombshells. Fans started digging deeper into the story, and the more they found, the more their loyalty was shaken. Leaked footage surfaced showing Jim's emotional breakdown after the video leak went viral, with one particularly chilling clip showing him questioning his whole career. "Is this how they really feel about me after everything we've been through?" he muttered as he stared at his phone screen. On the other side, Cam remained unbothered. He went silent. Again, his only public statement was a tweet that read, "Sometimes the truth hurts, but it has to be said." No clarification, no apology, just a cold, calculated statement that only fueled the flames further. He knew the impact it would have, but the longer he stayed silent, the more people began to see a different side of him: the calculating, self-serving businessman, the man who would do whatever it took to keep control. Some fans took to social media defending their favorite rapper, while others abandoned ship. The entire Dipset fan base was fractured, and the industry took notice. The more they argued, the less power they held. The unity they once had was crumbling, and both men were responsible. The question became, could they ever repair the damage? Or had their actions forever tainted the legacy they built together? Now let's talk about Chrissy, because at the heart of this whole feud was of course Chrissy Lumpin, Jim's longtime partner. As the drama unfolded, her name was dragged through the mud too. She had been put on blast in a very public way, and it was clear she was caught in the middle of this mess. But there's one thing that fans didn't know at the time: Chrissy wasn't just a victim. In fact, rumors began circulating that Chrissy had known about the betrayal before the rest of the world did. Some even claimed she had seen the video before it went public and had been urging Jim to take action against Cam. Whether or not that was true, Chrissy's involvement in this scandal only deepened the mystery. Was she truly just a pawn in this game, or did she have her own motives for keeping quiet while everything fell apart? And here's the kicker: this wasn't just about the men anymore, this was about their families, their reputations, and everything they had built for years. The longer this dragged on, the more people close to both men were getting caught up in the fallout. The ones who had once stood by them were now distancing themselves, not wanting to get caught in the crossfire of a feud that was spiraling out of control. At this point, we have to ask, is there any hope for reconciliation? Can Jim and Cam ever fix what's broken, or is this feud truly the end of the Dipset era? The legacy they spent years building is now at risk, and it's not just their reputations that are on the line, it's their place in the history books of hip-hop. But the question lingers after everything that's happened: is there any coming back from this? As the lawsuits pile up, the public opinion shifts, and the music world holds its breath. One thing is for sure: the story isn't over yet. The final chapters have yet to be written, but for now the question remains, who will come out on top in this epic battle of brotherhood, betrayal, and broken bonds? And there it is, the truth about the Jim Jones and Camron feud, the shattered bond and the explosive fallout that's rocking the hip-hop world. But here's the real question, and I want to hear your thoughts: who's in the wrong here? Was it Cam's betrayal that set this all off, or was Jim's own greed and ambition the spark that started the fire? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think they can ever patch things up, or is this the end of Dipset's reign? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the chaos, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and of course subscribe for more explosive content. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. The world is watching, and the drama is far from over. And that's it for today's jaw-dropping story. But before you go, I need to hear from you. What do you think? Is Jim Jones right to go after Camron like this, or did Camron get a raw deal in all of this? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below, because you know I'm reading every single one. I want to know if you're Team Jim or Team Cam, or if you think this whole thing is a mess from the start. If you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're the first to know when we drop the next wild story. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on what's coming next. We're just getting started, and you want to be here for the real tea, so don't forget to like, comment, and share this video to keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep your eyes open, stay tuned, and as always, we've got the truth and we're not afraid to exposit. Catch you in the next one.